Okay, in this exercise you're going to draw something called the circumcenter. Now the circumcenter is the intersection of all perpendicular segment bisectors of a triangle. If you remember back when we did the incenter was the intersection of all the angle bisectors. Okay, each angle we bisected, and wherever they intersected is called the incenter. So in this exercise, you're going to draw what's called a circumcenter, and I'll show you how to do that. First of all, like always, put your name, date, period there. And this is called the circumcenter. Circumcenter. It is the intersection of all perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. Now, if you don't remember how to do a perpendicular bisector, go back, watch the video, review it. But I will show you here. We're going to start with a triangle. And let's just make a triangle. It doesn't matter how big or whatever. Well, yeah, I would make it, big enough to draw and get around. If you make it super tiny, you're going to run into problems. There I almost made it too big because I almost didn't have enough ruler to draw that side there. But anyway, nothing specific about the triangle. I am going to label it. This is A, B, and C. Now, perpendicular bisectors, we start with our compass here. We measure. Remember, this is like one of the first ones we did. We measure somewhere past halfway, and I think we settled on as a class that 3/4 is a good distance. We measure 3/4 of distance. We make an arc up here and a mark down below, on the other side. Then we go the same distance from here, and an arc and mark them, and then that is our bisector. So I'm going to show you how that's done. So we're not bisecting angles. Let's see, that does not look like an A. We are bisecting the sides. So I'm going to rotate this because I'm going to do the side AB. I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to put my compass, the point on A, and I'm going to measure something that's about 2/3 the distance, or 3/4, like that, from A to B. And I'm going to put my compass on A, make a mark, and then down below, make a mark. Using the same measurement, I'm going to switch over here to this side, and I'm going to put my compass on B, make a mark that intersects with that first one, and another mark right there that intersects with that one. Okay. Now, I don't need to draw the entire line, because in this case, if you can imagine, if I have a line perpendicular to this, that means it's going to be 90 degrees. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. So this line is roughly, right about 4 inches. So if I come, it's going to come through the 2-inch mark, somewhere around there, and it's going to be perpendicular. It's going to go up through here. Okay, so I don't need to draw this part of the line, but I do need this mark right here to help me figure out. It takes 2 points to come up with a line. 2 points. You can't ever just have 1 point cannot define a line. So here, this is lined up, this is lined up. I'm only concerned with from this line forward. All right? That's it. And I'm drawing this line big enough so when I do my perpendicular bisector of this line, it's going to come through somewhere around here. I'm just kind of guessing, but it's going to come through somewhere around here. I only need it to go right through here. So I don't need to draw the rest of that. But I do need to indicate that this is perpendicular by using that right there, by putting that mark, okay? So that's the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now I'm going to do another perpendicular bisector of the line BC. Same method. I'm going to make sure my compass is past the halfway mark, which that seems to barely be, but I'm going to make it there. So that's maybe 2/3 the distance. I don't want to get too big because I had trouble before having my compass reach. And you don't want to go too small because then your lines won't intersect. So I'm going to put my point on B, make a mark up here somewhere. I don't exactly know where. It may be off my paper. That's going to be tricky if it's off my paper, but I'll show you what I would do. All right, now I'm going to come over here, put my compass on C. Oh, and I got lucky. Okay, I almost, if it had gotten over, I would have probably temporarily put a piece of paper here, and I would have had to make sure that it did not move the whole time until I drew my other line. But now I'm going to make my other mark right there. And these two spots, this intersection and this intersection, is what I'm going to use to draw my line. So I'll put my pencil right here. And again, I don't care about the line on this side. I only care about it going through the middle right there. And so far I've got this perpendicular bisector. This is perpendicular. The distance between B and C has been split exactly in half. So if I were to measure BC, it looks like it's 5 3/8. So half of 5 3/8 is 2.5 plus 3/16. Oh my gosh. So here's 2.5 and 1, 2, 3/16 right there. So that's that. That's perpendicular bisector of BC. This is the perpendicular bisector of AB. And now we're going to do the same thing with AC or CA, depends on how you look at it. And again, I like to rotate my paper to make it easy. I think I can keep my compass the same measurement. Actually, I can actually go bigger because this wasn't too far away. My compass will actually reach. So I'm going to go probably right there. That's a good distance. And I'm going to put this on C. And I'm going to make a mark somewhere out here. I don't know exactly where. And I'm going to do another one down below. Okay. Then I'm going to go to A. Angle A. And make a mark right there and right there. So these two intersections here and here are the ones that I'm going to use to connect. And again, line up your pencil, put your pencil on the dot, rotate your protractor or your ruler, your straight edge, till it lines up with the other intersection, like right about there. Oops, I think it moved. And then I don't care about what's outside the triangle, not for this. I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to draw a straight line through there. And oh yeah, something's way off, but that could be any number of factors, but it's in the general area. And this is perpendicular. This has been cut in half. This side of the triangle AC is like 5 and what is that, 5/16? Oh, I'm not even going to guess what that is. So 2.5 plus 5/32, 2.5, yeah, plus there's like 4/32, maybe 5. Okay, anyway, this thing here is called the circumcenter. And I'm going to draw a line, just freehand line and an arrow pointing to it. So when you look at this a few days later, you will know that this is the circumcenter. Again, the circumcenter is the intersection of all perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. So perpendicular indicates a line perpendicular to another. You cannot have a perpendicular angle bisector. That makes no sense. An in-center is intersection of all angle bisectors. I could even have you identify on a test if I were to cover this up. And of course, if I didn't have that, would you know what this is? That's an in-center, and this is a circumcenter. Okay? The way you would identify it is it would show you, and actually, so here, I'm going to have you put this on your papers before you turn this in. The way we identify, so this identifies that these lines are perpendicular, okay? But how do I indicate that they're bisector, so it's perpendicular and they bisect? That means that this line here, from C to this point, and from B to this point, are exactly the same. So you put one mark here. And then, from A to this intersection, and from C to this intersection, they are the same also. So, but they're not the same to these other two. So I'm going to put 2 marks there. These marks just mean the ones that have the same number of marks are the same distance to each other. But these two are not the same because they don't have the same number of marks. And then one more. Here, I'm going to use 3 because they are their own pair. These two are exactly the same, but they're not necessarily the same as these others. It doesn't matter, but this is how you would see it, how you would identify. By looking at the picture without any words, you could identify and say, oh, so these two are the same, so this is a bisector. It's got that mark, so it's perpendicular, so it's a perpendicular bisector. These two are the same, so this line is a bisector, and it's perpendicular, so it's a perpendicular bisector. And then the same for this. Same bisector, perpendicular bisector, okay? So that's a circumcenter.